Just a minute.
Yeah. Make sure you start recording as well. Yes, John, you have any question?
Do I have any questions?
Oh, you just said hi to the others.
I just said hi. I do. We can. I guess we're about ready to start here. It's going live now.
No, as soon as our main person says it's live,
Until
then
he says it's live.
Yeah, but it should start on his end.
Okay, sounds
I'm
good.
very interested in your talk, John. I know nothing about that subject at all. I am totally ignorant. And my sons talk about it, people talk about it, and I just zone out because I have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, I do good to know what a checking account is lately. So, you know, I know we don't cash anymore. So I'm like, I was paying somebody yesterday for something with cash, and I said, you do take cash, right? And they were like, oh yeah. I was like, okay, well.
But you do remember checks, right? Where you write,
I do.
You do remember those?
My mother is 96 and still writes them.
Yeah. So thinking about it more like a check, actually, I think might make more sense. But it's a check. It's an electronic check that doesn't have a specific bank. And that's the tricky part, right? That's the tricky part, is that all these people with their computers can come together and sort of make that bank for you. And yeah, it's incredible stuff.
Kind of scary.
So you have to start from the beginning, John. We are like illiterates.
So yeah, so
101.
you know, right, exactly. And I'm very unscripted. So if anybody just wants to stop, you know, or just let me know and I'll explain whatever.
Okay,
right?
we'll go live now.
Simple.
Yeah. Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to this session of our ZIPINAR, where we zip in 2 or 3 webinars in try to keep it in an hour or so. And our only motive here is to give as much as information as possible to the community, because our aim is to create an informed and empowered community. And how do we do that? We have been doing this for the past 2.5 years. We are very proud of this platform because we do this completely free for the community, so that you know, when people like today's the 2 speakers, they are not aware of the subjects, but they are experts in their own fields. So it's a platform where innovation and interaction and so many other things happen. And if you want to join the group, if you want to join our community, Let Us Talk It community, please email us at webinar@letustalkit.com. And we don't only think of our present, but we do think of our future as well. So we, what we do is that make public speaking a little bit easier for our youth. And how do we do that? We do that with our webinars, where we have 2 groups, where we have a younger youth group starting from 6 years old, and we have an older youth group starting from 12 years, and they interact at a particular session 2 days a week, and then they go live on like different days. The younger one goes on Fridays and the older ones goes on Saturdays. And what it does is you won't believe what it does, is that it increases so much of their communication skills, public speaking skills, and moreover, they are a bunch of great friends that they have discovered among themselves as virtual friends. They love to be in that group. So if you have a kid and if you want to join also, you can email us at webinar@letustalkit.com, or you can go to our website, letustalkit.com, and register your kids under the youth registration. So that's a little bit about our Let Us Talk It platform. And for today's ZIPINAR, which is our term coined by the Let Us Talk It team. So we have two excellent topics, very different from each other. The first topic that we have is who thought working and learning from home could damage not only your social life, but your eyes as well. For people suffering from dry eye disease, low humidity and restricted airflow, which can cause higher evaporation of tears, increasing dry eye symptoms. It's not just adults that are experiencing damages to the ocular surface, but also children. And to present this topic, we have with us Polly Neely, and she is an ophthalmic process and project management clinical consultant with over 25 years experience working in multiple eye care specialties. And she owns Polly Neely Consulting for now over 10 years. And she is also a nationally recognized speaker for American Society Ophthalmic Association, American College of Eye Surgeons, Women in Ophthalmology, Hawaiian Eye and Regional Eye Care Societies, and she has also served as a member of the board of directors for ASOA and program co-chair for Ophthalmic Women's Leadership. So if you have any dry eye problem, even wearing the mask, as she was explaining, please join the session here right on Zoom so that you can talk to her directly, all those who have joined in on our Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn. And yes, we are honored to have you, Polly. Over to you.
Thank you so much for having me. And, you know, this is something that I've been in this industry now for, as you said, over 25 years. I hate to date myself, but truly I have. But it's something that I am learning also as we go. I'm trying to get for some reason, it's not going to let me go to present mode. Let's see. Again, Canva decides it wants to have issues today too. So let's see what happens.
Just
have issues. Well,
just press the that reset button there. Maybe that will work.
Not gonna, it's stuck. All right, well, it just worked a moment ago, but this is always fun. Anyway, let's see. Maybe we just go from here since it won't let me present. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's a little small, but just press that present button. Can you go there?
Nope, it's not allowing me. Let me reset, but
yeah, we can see though. Yeah.
well, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go through this like this. I'm so sorry. I wish, does that help?
That looks good.
Okay. Okay. My apologies. Because we just tested this, but anyway, you know, who thought working from home and learning from home, because your children are learning from home, could damage their eyes along with their social life? We all know that this pandemic has damaged our social life. I live and take care of my 96-year-old mother, and my mother is a social butterfly. She loves going, doing, but the minute she puts on that mask, it shuts her down. It's the craziest thing. It's like her ears go, her communication goes. And I don't know if any of you have experienced that. I have. I think when I put on the mask, I feel a little bit intimidated. So I like to smile at people. I like to laugh at people. I like to laugh with people, not at people, but I do laugh at people too. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But, you know, those kind of things. But also let's think about what that mask does to your eyes. no matter what your age, if you're sitting in front of a screen, you don't blink enough. Have any of you noticed that? I mean, if pardon my nose too, allergies are killing me along with wearing a mask. That's the other thing that happens to me is that these masks make my nose run and make my allergies worse because I'm breathing in my own bacteria from my mouth, which is your worst of all things for bacteria. No matter what your age is, you're sitting in front of a screen, you don't blink. If you're reading a book, you don't blink. If you're watching TV, you don't blink as much. Your average blink actually decreases from approximately 18 per minute to, hold on, to 3 or 4. Do you know how your eyes lubricate? By this. Do this and you'll feel so much better. Just close your eyes for 2 seconds, open them, and you feel that replenish of fluid going over your eye. It feels so good. So when that tear film breaks, then it can cause damage to your ocular surface because the higher the tear film on your eyes, the better your quality of vision. Just sometimes when you're reading a book or you're watching TV, you find yourself like, wow, that looks blurry after a while. It's like, and what do? Blink. Because when you blink, it replenishes your tear film. You can always put in drops, that's okay too. Use preservative free though, I want to say. But low tear film also, it takes away your quality of vision. It makes things look blurry. And it can make your eyes feel gritty and irritated. It can make them red. So blinking is the essential for the proper function and the feel of your ocular surface. And one other thing about dry eye I want to tell you is this mask creates this for a lot of reasons, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But the other thing about dry eye is most of us think, well, my eyes aren't dry, they run all the time. How many of you say that? My eyes run all the time. How can they be dry? Well, they're running because there's nowhere for the tears to go because your meibomian glands here aren't producing the right tears, and there's nowhere for it to go, so it just runs out. Okay, so your whole tear system is not working correctly, so you need to see your doctor, and let's see about that. Here's what you need to do when you're looking at the screen, and encourage your children. I ask you please to do this. Encourage your children that after every 20 minutes to look away from the screen for at something that's 20 feet away for 20 seconds. And you can just count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and and so on. And then go back to your screen and blink while you're looking. And you're going to make your eyes feel better, and your children aren't going to end up with eye issues as well. The thing about the mask is, I'm sure you've seen all of the ads out there where it shows the glasses fogging up because they want you to come in and have LASIK or have don't wear contact lenses during this time. I don't know if you know about that as well, but with all the germs that are out there with COVID, if you're not washing your hands, if you're not taking good sanitation with your hands, and then you're touching your eye to put in your contact lens, you could actually be infecting your eye with the COVID virus. So you want to be very careful. And here's what's happening. I just did a series called Focus Through the Generations, and we interviewed 16 physicians from all generations. And what they're saying about COVID right now is that they are seeing more corneal ulcers and keratitis, and that's infection of the cornea, since COVID. And it's because we're wearing our mask. If you don't have the wire here where you can, make your mask go like this, everything you're breathing, when you're breathing out, it's going right into your eyes. And so you've got all that air going into your eye, plus all the bacteria from your mouth going into your eye. So it's creating bacteria on your ocular surface. It's also drying out your eyes because there's a continuous flow. Even just doing this, just do this, you'll feel the air on your eye that dries it out. So it'll dry it out. So, our social life is affected by this mask. But your eyes are affected by this mask, something that we're learning more and more about every day. So if you're going to wear the mask, I encourage you to wear the mask. I wear my mask. I've had my vaccines, but I wear my mask. And if you're going to do that, I encourage you to get the ones that have the wire here, or you can simply put tape on the inside, like a double-sided medical tape. Not some people I've heard say, why don't we just Velcro it, put that piece here and then just stick it on there. That's not advisable. But put that there, and that way you can keep the air from going into your mouth. The other thing that I want to tell you about is this area here is very sensitive. This is the thinnest part, the thinnest skin on your face is right here and on your eyelids. Okay, so what happens is also you get a lot of irritation here. So I encourage you to use some hyaluronic acid here to keep this moisturized and keep this area moisturized really good so that you don't get it dried out with the air that's flowing up and you don't get the rash. So, you know, your eyes are greatly affected by mask, and COVID has messed a lot of things up socially, but it's also messed up a lot of people's vision, not just about their social life, but literally their vision. You know, while masks will save lives, they also created social challenges and frictions. I love what Dr. Matsumoto, he said, words alone are not enough to communicate our attitudes, our feelings, our thoughts, and all the other stuff that's important for creating social and emotional bonds between people. I still try to smile with my mask on. I don't have a mask here with me because I'm at home by myself. But, you know, if you got on a mask and you're trying to smile, you can't just use your social smile, which is nobody sees that. You got to use your real smile, which is see how the eyes change, how they light up. That's what you need to do when you see people. It makes them feel good. You know, everybody, no matter if it's just in the grocery, if it's just walking down the street, in the times we're living in right now, everybody can use that big smile. And the only way they're going to know you're doing it is if you give them that real one, you know, show the teeth, bring it up. You know, as I was telling you about my 96-year-old mother before this started, masks make it extremely difficult for those who are hard of hearing to communicate, because sometimes, and I find myself doing this, I hear well, but I was taught a long time ago in public speaking classes and when you're, you know, in just business classes, that you always look someone in the eye when you're speaking to them. But you're looking at their face and you're actually watching their emotions. You're reading their lips. You're seeing their expressions. That's why Zoom is so hard to be able to do a teaching or a webinar unless people turn on their cameras. And I know we're all sitting at home and we don't want to see, you know, want you to see me in my pajamas or whatever. But, and just like me, I was a little late getting on makeup, so I was holding things up. But people want to see you. I mean, we miss that interaction in the office. We miss seeing people. We miss that expression to expression. You can talk to people on the phone, you can write to people, you can email people, you can still communicate, but there's nothing like seeing a face, a smile, an expression. The eyes are your window to your soul is the idea that you can understand a person's emotions and sometimes thoughts by looking into his or her eyes. So I think now's a good time for us to practice that, since we're in COVID, is let's see what we can read in people's eyes. Any investors out there, I actually wanted to start a dating site a couple of years ago called The Eyes Have It. And it was, the eyes are the window to the soul, because your profile would only be your eyes. And people would have to figure out from that kind or mean or, you know, deep look in that eye to see who that person is that they might want to visit or talk more to. You know, you hear this all the time, you know, when is all this going to end? You know, and when we continue to say that, we're just creating more and more anxiety. And if you look at people's faces when they say that, there's some people who are so desperate, you know, especially elderly people. So, but even me, I mean, I traveled 24/7 and now I've been grounded for a year and a half, and it's not me. My suitcase is still sitting on ready, but you know, my body is saying, no, it's not time because of this. So I'm not going to read all this, but, you know, just a lack of social support can increase the variety of mental health problems. Just be certain. And these people who are in nursing homes, they've proven it now that a lot of them are dying from depression. Their body is closing down because they're not seeing their loved ones. They're dying as a byproduct of COVID. It's not COVID. Okay. So make certain that if you're talking with your family or whatever, you know, make certain that you're using Zoom, that you're using FaceTime, that you're actually seeing people, because you're sitting at home, you don't have to have on that mask. I love Steve Martin's thing here. I'll end with this. He said, I always wear a mask when I go outside, but sometimes it was leaving me anxious and unsettled. And I thought about the problem and I addressed it. So here's the solution. I would not know that Steve Martin unless he had a sign on his head. So I appreciate a sign. I'm not going to put a sign on my head, but I am going to share my name when I see people. And I do see people staring at me going, I think that's Polly, but I'm not sure. So I always walk up to them and go, yeah, it's me. It's me. I'm under that mask. You know, for women, we've saved a lot, you know, on face makeup. You know, we've only had today's probably one of the few days I've put on a full face makeup other than my eyes. You know, and the other thing is we're using more eye makeup now. So ladies, make certain that you are cleaning your ocular surface and you're cleaning your lids and you're cleaning your lashes, because there are little bugs called Demodex that live in here when you let that hygiene go. And that mask with all the bacteria blowing up there is going to increase that blepharitis and give those bugs more room to grow. Sounds gross, but it happens. And gentlemen, it happens to you too. So let's use that 20/20 rule for blinking to keep our ocular surface and vision healthy. Let's look people in the eye when we're speaking to them, and let's make sure we smile with our eyes. Use your camera on Zoom. It might be the only place you get to see people or be seen by people without a mask. And use Steve Martin's humor to get through this pandemic. You know, remember, common sense, kindness, and laughter go a long way with or without a mask. Are there any questions? Let's see if I
Can you hear me? Am I on mute? Did I mute? Am I unmuted?
You're there.
Oh, okay. That's funny. That's funny about Steve Martin. One time somebody had a business card that Steve Martin was handing out, and they said, "This proves that I met Steve Martin and I found him to be charming and witty and polite and all this great stuff that Steve Martin wanted you to know." It was a very funny. He's a very funny, very talented man, and you know.
He really is. And I can't get, I'm so sorry. My computer is really going nuts on me today. Am I still here?
Yeah,
You are.
absolutely.
Yeah, you're still there.
I don't know if it's my computer or maybe it's just me.
No, it happens. Not a problem at all. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so we're still viewing your screen.
I know I can't get it off. I'm so sorry. I may have to leave actually and come back in. Here I'm telling you all about the Zoom issues. Maybe it's not Zoom, maybe it's me. All right, this is nuts. I'm gonna quit Zoom and I'll come back. I'm gonna have to do that in order for this to work.
yeah. I think you are done with the presentation, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I think they can just take the screen back. There you go. See, all powerful God of Zoom can.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Polly, for making us aware. I guess we would not have thought about it, that why the eyes. I personally feel that dry eyes that you're saying if I'm wearing the mask for a long time, but maybe I was not correlating it with the mask and how it was affecting. So thank you so much for making us aware of it, and hopefully those who have joined, they will be a little bit more conscious in whatever the solution you have said to apply that. Any other question from anyone? Please feel free to unmute and ask the question.
And also, if any of you are looking for an eye doctor in your area to check on your dry eye or any of the symptoms that you might be experiencing after we've talked, just let me know. I know I've worked with them all over the country, so I'm sure I can find a really good one to recommend you to if you don't have one. So
absolutely, we'll do that. Okay, now a very interesting topic which we are hearing all over the place, and we are again very scared that if we don't know much about it, we will be again considered as illiterate. So we are honored to have with us John Rigler, and he will be talking about using cryptocurrency as money. And he will go over the basics of how someone can have cryptocurrency wallet and safely send and receive payments. So yeah, I mean, he is a blockchain Internet of Value developer, Bitcoin minimalist, cloud Unix server builds. I mean, over to you, John. I don't even want to go into it. So we
Thanks.
want to know from the basics, and yeah, over to you. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, I'm definitely a computer nerd, I guess, right? That's the, but yeah, I've worked in big for very large companies for many years. I've worked for IBM, a company called EDS out of Dallas here, a number of banks, and so then I got the cryptocurrency bug, and so let me flip over to screen share here. So let's see if we can do this. And so now I'm sharing my screen, but you shouldn't see anything on it yet. Okay. So I have just some instead of a formal presentation, I just have I can kind of show you windows. This is my LinkedIn. Anybody's welcome to message me, connect to me. I'm open to networking. And I'm going to click off of LinkedIn. I'll put my information in the chat. So with cryptocurrency, a lot of people have probably heard of Bitcoin is the one that you think of the most, and but there's many others. And if you want to get started with this, the place you want to really start is Coinbase. You can get a Coinbase account and you connect it to your bank account, and then you can buy whichever currencies are here, right? And there's a fee, but it's not too big, right? And if you want cash, if you want that back as money, then you can just sell it, back. But then you can also transfer it out. So if you have Bitcoin in your Coinbase account, you can create a wallet. It's called a wallet. And you can have this, for example, on your phone, right? So now you're no longer on Coinbase. Now you have control of this yourself. And this is, I think, a big part of what I'm going to be probably doing for the next decade or so is just explaining this to people in really, really simple terms. So, and I don't, if anybody has any questions, feel free to interrupt, ask, whatever. But I'll just kind of talk for a bit. So this is a wallet that you can download it right here on this website, Coinomi. There's many other wallets that are like this. But just like Coinbase has different currencies, Coinomi also has different currencies. But you don't really have an account with Coinomi. What you end up having to do is that it'll tell you to get a piece of paper and a pencil and write down these 12 words. And that is your identity. That's your key. So don't lose that piece of paper. And it'll always let you, so then you can always install Coinomi or whichever one back again if you have those words. So you can transfer money from Coinbase to Coinomi, right? And then within Coinomi, you pick which currency you want to use. Now, I have been using Dogecoin, and Dogecoin is something that's you probably have heard about this, right? it's based on a dog, little dog meme, right? It's just sort of the theme. It's just the name. They have these funny names, but they all work the same way. So this, what I'm showing you now, is a transaction in this world, right? And this is a transaction I sent, and so that's my address. So if somebody out there has some Dogecoin and wants to send it to me, now you know my address, right? You could send it right here from your phone to this QR code, and I would receive it. And so this is kind of interesting because I've just got a camera and I'm showing you my phone too, right? So here's where I have Coinomi on my phone, right? You load it on your phone, and I can say, I can click Dogecoin, right? But I don't happen to have any on my phone. See, you install this and you don't have any. So then the next question is, well, how do you get some? And you can just click receive, and you get a QR code there, right? So even with me showing you QR code on my phone through the computer camera, see, I have a little trick here. I can take a picture of that, right? So I don't have to hold it up. That's one way. So there's a lot of ways that you can share this information. This is, and I'm going to go back to, I think I've probably confused almost everybody. I'm going to go back to not
John,
sharing my screen.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you're talking about all these different currencies, but how do you know the value of them? What are they used for? And how does I was seeing increases, decreases. I mean, is it, I don't understand how it fluctuates. I know the government fluctuates our dollars by countries.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this also a global currency?
Yes, yes. By the way, thanks for asking. There's the most important thing is that you guys understand what I'm talking about, right? So that's a number of great questions. And so
I'm a dollar girl, so I don't have any idea about what you're talking about. So I'm loving this. This is so interesting.
Yeah, and it's so important to talk to. What I find is that sometimes really technical people miss things that just somebody off the street that has no clue will ask. Very simple question. So these are all global currencies because they're built on what I call a public blockchain. And it uses this incredibly strange system called proof of work, which was created by someone, we don't know their identity, but they go by the term Satoshi Nakamoto. So Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin, and it's sort of like Napster for money, or as I was saying before, it's like a bank where you can write a paper check out, but now the check's electronic, and there's no bank. So just like on the Matrix, they said there is no spoon, right? There is no bank. It's a bunch of peer-to-peer networks playing this kind of little game, and that's how that's how the pieces come together.
How do you know your money's still there?
So because it's called a trustless system. So it's a database, and people all over the world have a copy of the database, and nothing can ever change. You can't ever change the database, which makes it like a financial ledger, right? In a financial ledger, you can't erase something. You can only, hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. So in a financial ledger, you can't erase anything. You can only put in new entries, right? Like you can put an entry in that cancels something out. So it's a global financial ledger. Each currency is its own global financial ledger. And so does that help? Does that help?
Sorta. And everybody knows what you have.
Yes, but they don't necessarily know who you are. Because when you put that on your phone, right? There's no way to trace that to me until I take it out of a bank account somewhere, right? So, because remember before I said to put this on your phone, it's just 12 words, right? So we're beginning to get into this new world of identity and, but where we can interact with each other, you can trust each other because of the way the network's built. And because so many people are watching. If somebody lies, then they get spit out. It's again like the Matrix, right? You just get spit out of the Matrix and you're not playing anymore. And everybody can tell if you're lying or not. It's fascinating. It's just a fascinating system. Yeah, but yeah, we can. But the thing that is interesting is like I've done jobs and I've gotten paid with crypto now, and it's so fast, right? Because.
But how do you use it? Like, okay, can you use it to buy a pizza?
No, that's the thing. You can't. So you could if somebody had a phone. All that person needs to accept your crypto and give you the pizza is to put Koinomi on their phone, click on receive, and show you the QR code. You send it, it goes ping, and they see that it went through and they give you the pizza. That's all that it would take. But we're again, COVID time has devastated a lot of things, right? So I think as we begin to reconnect, especially with the money system and things, we live in I would call it a time of transition, but this is this is a real thing, and it can never sort of go away. There's no CEO of Bitcoin, right? There's no way that there can be a scandal like that to make it go away.
I find that frightening. This Satoshi Nakamoto, it's a figure. Nobody knows who it is.
Well, there's one guy who says that he's Satoshi Nakamoto.
Where's your money? Is what I want to know. Where's my money?
Well, let me ask you this: where was your money before?
I'm gonna start putting it under my mattress, but other than that, it's in a bank.
Right, it was in a bank, right? So being in a bank, your money is kind of abstract to you, right? Yeah. When it was a check, you kind of had this idea of this piece of paper that had these funny numbers on it and signatures and memos and stuff. But at the end of the day, it was just in the database of the bank. That's where your money was before, right?
Would this be like an investment?
Oh yeah, people invest in this. I was looking like Dogecoin, the silly dog coin is like bigger than Ford now or something. I mean, it's huge. Bitcoin is in the billions. So yeah. But
how would you get started? How would someone like me, who is 1,000% ignorant in this? I mean, I'm talking 1,000% ignorant. How would someone like me get started?
If you download, and we can do this offline, if you download this wallet, this Koinomi thing, right? It'll walk you through the steps, or I can walk you through the steps in a Zoom meeting to build your wallet. And then you ask for money, and it's your address. And you can have as many addresses as you want. In fact, it'll make a new address every time.
I can't even remember an 8-digit password.
Right, but all you have to do here, see, as I show it, I'm just really showing you a QR code, right?
Uh-huh.
So all you have to do is use that QR code. So if you have like if you want to accept Dogecoin, let's say, okay, it went up like, I don't know, 4 zillion% or something. So if you want to accept that, you just put that on your flyer. Or put it on your whatever, put it on your website. And as you go, you just say, hey, I accept this. And then people, like, literally as they watch, they can just send it to you. And then you send it to your Coinbase account, and it can go to your bank account. Or if you know somebody and they want some Dogecoin and you have some, and they can just give you a $20 bill and you can just send it to them. There's nothing that stops you from doing that.
But this currency, this electronic currency, I don't know what else to call it. I'll call it that.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's based on the dollar amount, like the.
No, it's not. It's not tied. It's not tied to the dollar.
So if I have $100 in my electronic coin account, how do I know it's worth $100?
Well, because there are these. There's this whole universe of people who are trading. They're exchanging cryptocurrencies for fiat currencies and for other cryptocurrencies, just like the stock exchange, right? So that's how stocks traditionally got their price. But now it's a stock exchange that you can participate in with $20 or whatever. And so, yeah, so in the exchange, it's usually pegged off of Bitcoin or Ethereum. Have you heard of Ethereum?
Yes.
So what do you know about Ethereum? I'm curious.
I don't know. I've heard the word because I did some research. I'll tell you why I did research. I don't mean to take over your conversation.
No. This is fascinating.
Make it simple. I heard about Bitcoin because I heard about the person being held hostage or whatever wasn't getting his money back. It was some.
Right. Yeah. It's always depicted negatively as Bitcoin is being used.
Yeah. So I started doing a little bit of work. So that I know that term. I don't know what it is, but I know that term. I know enough just to be dangerous, you know?
So Bitcoin is the most popular. Hold on a second.
Does anybody else have any questions? I'm sorry, I don't mean to monopolize this.
No.
There is one question. I think
Okay. Yeah.
Soumya
So another
Niranjan.
question.
Yeah. What is one broker account that you recommend that can trade most of cryptocurrency /ALT coins in US dollars?
Kraken. So the next step beyond Coinbase, I would say, is Kraken. Binance is fine too, if you could get onto Binance. I was on one for a long time, and they sent me a message and they said, thank you, Americans. We don't want to deal with you anymore. We're going to go to the Chinese. And they shut everything down. I don't even remember the name of that one. But yeah,
So John, I have a question.
Okay.
So where is the US government now in terms of tracking or compliance? Because if I give you $20,000, say up to 15, it is a gift tag. There is no, you can gift to anybody. But if you are giving more than 15,000 or 14,000, whatever the limit is, how is that tracked or compliance and regulations? Where are we on that?
Well, okay. So the question is, then the real question is, if you've got $15,000, let's say, how do you get the $15,000 out of the system, right? Because, I mean, I run all these servers that I could send the money to my server, right? But when you bring it out of the system, when you convert it to dollars, then that's a taxable event, and then you need to claim that on your taxes, right? But for smaller amounts, I think that wherever you are, the government is kind of trying to catch up and understand the regulations. But I think for smaller amounts, they're just going to be maybe more forgiving, right? I mean, I could on my taxes, have pages and pages of these 7-cent transactions that I do. Just, but I think that's it's called the on ramps and the off ramps, right? Wherever you, however you get that converted into, fiat currency.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Does that?
Still confusing, but yeah.
Yeah. Here in the United States, everything is pretty much regulated under 2 codes: the AML, anti-money laundering, and the other one is called KYC, know your customer, right? So if somebody's dealing with a large amount of money, you have to follow those procedures, and they'll get audited. And when they get audited, they say, who gave you this $15,000? Well, some guy. That's not going to work, right? So that's kind of where, but it's all very new, right? This is all changing very quickly. It's a interesting time we live in.
Got it. Thank you.
So we have, what is one? I'm just looking at the best cryptocurrency stocks. I don't know about that. What is fiat currency? So fiat currency is the dollar, the rupee, whatever, the currency of your country. So it wouldn't make sense for me to get, well, first of all, my bank is in dollars since I'm in the United States, right? Now, if my bank was in, Great Britain, right, then I would get, I guess, the pound or whatever, or a euro in another country or something like that. So that's fiat.
Is there a way to use this currency? Like, my son lives in Japan. So if I had an account and he had an account and I paid him or gave him money through that, would it automatically adjust for the yen from the dollar?
Yes, but there's a step in between, right? Because from what you put in dollars and then you use whatever currency you want, I would recommend to avoid Bitcoin itself because the transactions are high. There's all sorts of others. There's, let me go back to screen share here. There's a site CoinGecko, which kind of shows you the different currencies. In Bitcoin and Ethereum, the transaction fees are really high, right? But if you use some of these other currencies, like here's Litecoin, okay, you could send in Litecoin and the transaction fees would be lower. But you convert the dollar to Litecoin, and then he has something similar to Coinbase in Japan. I don't think Coinbase works in Japan right now because I have a friend who's there who's dealing with some of these same issues. But all he has to do is figure out some way to accept Litecoin and connect it to his bank account. Or somebody in Japan that want that. So somebody in Japan could accept Litecoin on his behalf and give him whatever the Japanese fiat currency is, right? All sorts of stuff like that's possible. This is a wildly unregulated system. In the middle, it has to be regulated around the edges. Does that help?
Absolutely. This is really fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, and I was just speaking of Litecoin, right? So, and then the auditors, the government, or whoever wants to see, as we said before, they can see the transactions, right? Like again, here is a transaction. You have these sites like this is kind of a joke. It's called, you know, in Dogecoin everything is funny dog language. So it's like, anyway, that's why the site is called chain.so. But this shows the blocks, right? You may have heard of this referred to as blockchain technology. So these are the blocks that are chained together. And each block has a little, like a little picture of the block before on it. And it just goes back and back and back. And so none of these blocks can ever be changed, or all the new ones would be kind of broken in this mathematical way. And that's a big concept, but that's how it works. And that's why it's called blockchain, right? So here's the latest block of, this is probably Bitcoin we're actually looking at right now. Here's the latest Bitcoin block. Just came out 5 minutes ago. This website, this block explorer, can help me see this. I can see this myself using all sorts of my computer nerd tricks on the back end, because I have a copy of the blockchain myself. But yeah, it's taken a little while, but it will show you the latest block here in a minute. And yeah, then, you know, here's, like I was saying, here's, this is a Dogecoin transaction I'd sent before, right? Now, another thing I think is going to be important is when I first started looking at this, your name is not on here anywhere, right? Just your block, just your address. Your address is on here. So this says input. So this is who sent this transaction. So this is me on my phone, right? I know that because I'm the person that sent it, and then I sent it to, or that's me on a computer, I guess. And I sent a message too. So on a computer, you can send a message. Now it couldn't translate the message, but it, let's see if I can find it here. I can find it. You can just kind of drill around through this block explorer and see things. Oh, it's not gonna be happy. But anyway, let me switch back to. Okay, so yeah, that was kind of a tangent. Any other questions? Got 6 minutes left.
What is, how do you make money teaching people this?
I try to get them to install Coinomi on their phone and then send it to my QR code. That's how I do it.
Okay.
Or like if you're, I live in Texas. I live in Grapevine, Texas, near the airport, right? So I was going to go down to Main Street and start doing like sort of a live demo of this. And again, the easiest way for me to make money would be to say, okay, give me $50 in Venmo for a class or whatever, right? Just pay me in fiat, and then I will give you some of this currency. That's how you can monetize it, because it is a money system itself, right? So I think that's my strategy.
So interesting. Thank you, John. I'm definitely going to be talking to you. I'll help you with dry eye. You can help me with money.
Oh yeah. What's missing is the last step, the last 5% of kind of integrating this into into the world of real people who aren't, you know, focused on this, right?
I have a couple of other questions there too.
Yeah. Let's see. So, are the questions in the chat or?
Mhm.
Fiat currency is any currency that's not tied to gold. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So we've got 3 minutes left. I can just share my screen again and talk some more about this.
Hey, John, quick question for you.
Aha. Yes.
What is your specialty? You just educate the people, or you also provide any kind of a services in terms of what coins to buy, when to sell, that kind of thing?
No, I'm actually not as connected to the trading aspect of this.
Okay.
What I do is I can build a server. You know, I'm an IT guy, right? So I'll build a Bitcoin server for some company or something like that. So
is that for mining?
No, well, not really. You can do a lot of other things besides mining when you have a server, right? You can, like there's this one currency called Satoshi Vision, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, which is it's the currency of Craig Wright. He's kind of the sponsor of it, and he's the guy that says he is actually Satoshi, right? So we're in this weird place where Bitcoin is scary because you don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but then there's also this guy that says he is Satoshi Nakamoto, and he has his own version of Bitcoin, which is called Satoshi's Vision. And in Satoshi's Vision, you can, the memo field is very big, right? I think I talked before about the memo, like just on a check, a little paper check, you can put a memo on there. You can put a memo on this too, if you have one of these servers or if you're a programmer or whatever. We're trying to get to the point where you can do it from your phone, but we're not quite there yet. But in Satoshi Vision, the memo can be huge. It can be like a movie or an audio clip or something like that, put right into the transaction. It's very powerful stuff. I don't know if I answered your question. I kind of rambled there. But,
You did. Thank you.
And so we're coming up on the hour.
There was one other question here. I'm sorry, I just saw it.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm new to crypto terminology as well. And this is great, if my phone is lost, is everything lost?
It depends. It depends on if you, first of all, you can have the same thing on your computer, right? So you can access it from your computer or your phone. But the main thing is that you write down these 12 words in order. It's like your password, but and they're normal words, right? Like, you know, lawn or cloud or something like that. You write them down, and those words become your account. So yeah, but it could easily, if you don't do that or you lose that piece of paper, and the only copy you had on your phone was on your phone, then yes, it's lost. And that's it. That's you know, it's a new world, right? Where you have to take responsibility for your own information. And I think that's going to be really important for a lot of things. There's a lot of, it's a scary world of hackers out there, and so we have to start taking more control of our information anyway.
So it's like your phone guarded with your life, everything you have.
Well, you can transfer it off of your phone, right? Like just only keep like a little bit, only keep $60 on your phone, right? Then if your phone gets lost, you've only lost $60 because you can transfer the money, like you could transfer it back to your Coinbase account. It could just sit in there. And then when you need some, you just send it over to your phone. That's probably, especially now since Coinbase is getting bigger and bigger. You know, I see ads saying, hey, we'll teach you how to, you know, set up your account. So Coinbase is growing. So yeah, you could keep, like if you had, let's say, $5,000, keep most of it in Coinbase. Just keep, you know, a little bit on your phone. Also on your phone, you can transfer from one currency to another. There's ways to do that through these different applications. And again, the one I like is called Coinomi. But many of them work the same way, right? But here's the one. Here's one, Coinomi. And so, but if you think I'm like a Coinomi salesman, there's let's see, there's one called Jack's Liberty. Jack's Liberty works the same way. You always have these 12 words that you it's not gonna you know, that you have to write down usually. There's also there's Ethereum, and Ethereum has extra functionality. So with Ethereum, you can use this MetaMask application, and let's see if I remember my MetaMask. So you can do more with Ethereum, but there's an issue with Ethereum right now where the transactions cost a lot of money just to do simple things. See, so it says I have $43 in Ethereum, it looks like. And so for that, I have to keep track of my MetaMask details, right? But you can view them, like I can pull them up and view them, and then I could just hit print and print them off on the printer, right? So I could have like that's the whole trick, just get it to a piece of paper, or take a picture on your phone. Now, of course, if that picture gets lost, if that picture gets stolen, then a hacker would have your information. But that's
something that can be stored, like, would you store this information on a PDF in your iCloud account, or?
No, well, so if you do that and somebody breaks into your iCloud account, I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay.
Because iCloud is Apple, right? So if a hacker breaks into iCloud, they can get all your information. And hackers have broken into a lot of things lately with the SolarWinds hack, the email exchange servers. The FBI got, you know, permission from the government basically to go log on to people's exposed exchange servers and fix the vulnerabilities, right?
Wow.
So yeah, it's not a safe world out there. But you know, I think that this is something that there's different electronic wallets that people have, or different solutions like that they're coming up with. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for that. I think that, you know, I've many hobbies ago, I was into ceramics, and I would make these tiles, and I was very influenced by, you know, different I don't know, art things. But it seemed like you could publish your keys into a format like that and even like bake the thing. So if the house burned down, you still have this thing is the key, or, people will etch it into metal. But at the end of the day, it's all just a number. It's just a big long number that you have to keep track of. Or this, it's much easier to imagine as this list of 12 words. But yeah, you've got to write them down somewhere. So any other questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask. Any other question from anyone? Have we answered? Srini, your thoughts? Okay. Yes, Polly, any other? I'm pretty sure that you have the thing a little opened up, but still a lot of information and clarification you need to know, because that is also with me. So yeah, it's new to us. But any other question, Polly?
No, I think that I've taken it over too much already, but I appreciate so much your time, John, and I appreciate Let Us Talk It for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for inviting me too. And yeah, like I say, feel free to connect on LinkedIn. I'll connect with you guys, and so yeah, we could definitely do this more. Talk about this more offline.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Srini joined now. Maybe we could not hear him.
Hey, thanks so much, John, for all the valuable information shared. So, so basically, you said that you will help even in setting up the technical aspects of this crypto servers, right?
Right. Yeah. But so like for a miner, those are very specific pieces of hardware, right? They have graphics cards and all this stuff. So usually they're set up differently. What I set up is like, for example, I was saying, I had this Satoshi Vision server. I'm focused on data. You can put data into the transactions, right? And with Ethereum and with smart contracts, there's all sorts of other possibilities where we begin to move away from just seeing this as money, just seeing this as cash. I'm sure you guys have heard of the NFT craze lately, right? Where you have an NFT, it's a non-fungible token, which is another whole discussion, but it's beginning down the road of connecting this into things in the real world, right? This is still kind of very disconnected.
Are you working with or aware of any other startups in this blockchain and crypto?
There's tons. Yeah, there's tons of startups, and most of them are doing the same thing, right? Right now, so the big issue right now is that all the cool stuff has been written for Ethereum, but Ethereum gas fees are really high. And the reason why they're high has to do with decentralized finance, like these transactions that can happen real fast and you can kind of chain them together. So there's just different issues. It's not the fault of the guy that created Ethereum or of the miners or anything like that. It's just kind of the way it is. So there's all these other tokens, right, that you could that are out there that compete with Ethereum. like Cardano is one that I hear about a lot, or there's one called Polkadot, right? They're all on, they're on Coinbase, or this CoinGecko site, and I can paste that into the. I'll paste some of these links into the chat. So here's CoinGecko. That's a good place to kind of learn about some of this stuff. But that's the big trend right now. What I do is a little different because I'll run like, to run some of these servers, it takes like 500 gig of space, right? So I'll run these servers in the clouds and do certain things, right? But for example, from your phone, you can send $100 to one person. But from my site, I can send $10 to 10 people, all in the same transaction, and have a note at the bottom or a picture added or something like that, right? So it's these value adds, but the whole ecosystem can kind of connect together in really interesting ways.
Yeah, definitely. So because LetUsTalkIt also has another focus area of startups. So recently we were talking to two startups. One startup focusing on supply chain management, leveraging blockchain, and yeah, there is another one as well. So if there are any synergies where they need some technical help on those things, definitely we'll try to send your profile.
That would be great. Yeah, that would definitely help.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in startups too. I'm a big fan of Paul Graham, who I don't know. Have you heard of Y Combinator?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, Y Combinator is pretty well known. But the guy that started Y Combinator has sort of moved on, right? He started it because he's a zillionaire. He doesn't want to spend all his time doing that. So, but he has some incredible insight about the way that startups work and how startups succeed. And the people that can make a startup work are not the same people that do a really great job fitting into a corporate job somewhere in a company with
yeah, very
10,000
wise
people. It's like day and night. It's just different different mindsets.
yes. Yeah, very wise comment by you on that. Yeah, like there is we are going to have a meeting on this blockchain related supply chain initiative. Definitely, I will try to inform the other startup founders as well about your profile and all, because we are trying to build, we're trying to help one or two pilot customers, on that front. So yeah, we'll keep in touch for any synergies. And from LetUsTalkIt platform also, if we get any, referrals or anything like that, we'll definitely pass on to you. We really appreciate your time. And because you're interested in startups, we will try to talk offline with you on, on what's going on in our world, not necessarily on the crypto or anything, but in general, the other startups as well. If you are interested, we can try to see if there are any synergies. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Often my job description is DevOps.
Okay.
But it's really, I think, it's just part of the development team, right? But that's kind of the background I come from, is often referred to as DevOps. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you again. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for joining in and spending the time with us and being so open, and definitely opening our knowledge about Bitcoin and more of that. And thank you, attendees, for joining. And we just want to remind you that we will have our younger youth group webinar this Friday, and the topic would be their favorite movies and series, and it will be at 8:30 p.m. EST. And the young group is pretty young, but they are very passionate. And the older youth group will be having their webinar on Saturday, April 24th at 4 p.m. EST, and their topic would be impactful events in history that really changed the US, or in fact the world history totally. So yeah, that will be something interesting, and they do have their prep sessions every Tuesday and Thursdays. So if you want to have more information on that, and if you're interested to mentor, please email us at webinar@LetUsTalkIt.com. And thank you, John, once again. And with that, we end this session. Have a wonderful day, everyone.